Finding work in any industry can be challenging, especially in some sectors like the arts.
Honestly, it's genuinely frightening. A lot of us aren't sleeping. We're finding this to be harder than ever.
As a freelance stage manager, Jordan is finding that secure work is hard to come by.
I have about 15 hours of work in the next month, and nothing especially promising about anything else coming along. I've only worked once this week, and yeah, that won't cover rent.
Australia's unemployment rate rose to 4.1% in January, which is a 2-year high. More than 22,000 people were added to the jobless queue, while only 500 jobs were created. And the number of people currently working or actively looking for work remained steady.
These figures were clearly worse than expected, but I think it's important not to overreact.
4.1% is still very low by historical standards. The 5-year average before COVID was about 5.5%.
Regardless, the jobs boom we saw during the pandemic is over. Since May 2022, the number of roles advertised on Seek has dropped significantly, with banking, technology, media and hospitality seeing some of the biggest falls. Stuart Moran is also finding it difficult to find work.
I've been applying for 40 to 60 jobs a day. That's kind of totaling 2,000 jobs, and I'm barely getting any response at all.
He's just finished his master's degree and is trying to land a job as a project manager. But with more than 100 applicants for each role, the competition is intense.
I've barely had 10 in-person interviews, which is kind of scary when you look at the actual numbers and the hit ratio on that.
The job market is also making it harder for Fiona Lamb to find jobs for people who've been out of work for a long time.
I think motivation is probably a really big challenge. So trying to keep the staff motivated and feeling like they're getting some wins with the customers.
Unemployment has risen more quickly than many economists had expected. They say there's a chance Australia's economy could face a sharper slowdown, and that would strengthen the case for the Reserve Bank to cut interest rates.
I think compared to yesterday, rate cuts are a more likely proposition today after getting these unemployment numbers.
We think we're in a good position to get inflation down in a reasonable amount of time while still keeping employment growing.
Jordan hopes that means more job opportunities in the theatre.
The goal is to just stage manage and not worry about what's tomorrow, you know, what's around the corner.
Hopefully bigger crowds with any luck.